said, you left your credit card in the vending machine downstairs.
Oh, my gosh.
Again. Now, I just want to point out.
Oh, my goodness.
That we don't have old technology here. These are the credit card we can tap to pay.
Yeah. So somebody could have been tapping away and he would never know until he gets his bill.
Nobody knows.
Yeah.
And Dan says that he's leaving his credit card around the station at least once a quarter. So now it's a scavenger hunt for the rest of us at WTN to find Dan's credit card and then use it.
So if you get it, let me know.
We're getting everything. We're getting hot fries.
Yeah.
We're getting some Cheetos. We're going to get all the things that would make RFK Jr. blush.
Get the Reese's peanut butter cups.
We're doing it. We're doing it, Joan.
Yes.
It is Halloween. The White House has already upset the Democrats. This happened yesterday afternoon. A new meme dropped. Did you see the new meme? Can you throw this on the screen for me? So yesterday, President Trump gets back after his overwhelmingly successful Asia trip. $2 trillion in investment coming. Trade deal with China, South Korea, Thailand, Cambodia. I mean, you name it. He was getting stuff done. He gets back, and he still does trick-or-treating in the afternoon at the White House. Even after all that traveling, the White House social media team also working overtime, and they dropped a heck of a new meme.
He did the monster man.
And it made the leftists very upset because you see Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries come through for their treats, and Melania and Mr. Trump, they just put sombreros on them and send them on their way. Terrible. Hakeem Jeffries was not happy. He was not happy. Also of note, and this is, I don't want to bury the lead here, but we all remember the iconic moment from 6 years ago when Donald Trump was doing the Halloween stuff and he put the candy bar on the minion head. Do you remember that? I remember that. I remember the most random things. He did it again this time with another trick-or-treater. It was good fun. Good fun to be had by all at the White House yesterday. I wish I could have got my kids into that. I would have signed them up for that. Scary news, though, and this is the big story of the day. A terror plot has been thwarted in Michigan. Now, before I even dug into the story, I went, oh, Dearborn. Oh, because you know what the locals refer to Dearborn as? They refer to it as Dearbornistan. This is the same city in Michigan that tried to put Arabic on the police patch, had to quickly backpedal when residents were upset, and not residents of Dearborn, but just residents of the state, were very upset. And we're finding out this morning that there was a terror plot that was thwarted in Dearborn, Michigan. Arrests have been made. Fox News has the story. There were some times where the FBI would thwart a terror plot, and I would be kind of hesitant to buy all in. You know, my mind goes back to the Gretchen Whitmer kidnapping plot, where it was really just a bunch of FBI informants doing the Spider-Man meme. This was not that. I don't think this was that. But we're getting more information. Multiple suspects are accused of plotting violence over the Halloween weekend. This is terrifying, and this is a reality of 2025, and we should be keeping our heads on a swivel. Parents, if you're out there tonight, keep your head on a swivel. And I would say go armed on Halloween. Honestly, I would tell you to do that. The FBI has said it prevented a potential terrorist attack in Michigan, arresting multiple suspects accused of plotting violence over Halloween weekend. This morning, the FBI thwarted a potential terrorist attack and arrested multiple subjects in Michigan who are allegedly plotting a violent attack over holiday weekend, FBI Director Kash Patel posted on X. More details to come, thanks to the men and women of FBI and law enforcement everywhere standing guard 24/7 and crushing our mission to defend the homeland. In a statement to Fox News, Patel said the FBI's quick response prevented a potentially tragic situation from unfolding. He said through swift action and close coordination with local partners, a potential act of terror was stopped before it could unfold. The vigilance of this FBI prevented what could have been a tragic attack, and thanks to their dedication, Michigan will have a safe and happy Halloween. FBI Deputy Director Dan Bongino praised the reported operation, calling it an example of proactive law enforcement that saves lives, saying this is what real law enforcement looks like: proactive, relentless, and focused on saving lives. Our agents and partners in Michigan acted fast, followed the evidence, and stopped a threat before anyone got hurt. Under the leadership of Director Patel and the watch of this FBI, America is a safer place. Bongino also posted on X, writing, "Protecting the homeland is our top priority. We will not rest." News of the plot comes 10 months after we saw a terror attack unfold in New Orleans. That terror attack got swept under the rug extremely fast. That was how Fox News is reporting it. We're getting a little bit more information out of local outlets in Michigan from WXYZ in Detroit. They were talking about it, and they said that the arrests were made in Dearborn and Inkster. Again, before I even got into the story, you knew Dearborn was going to be included. Spokesperson for the FBI Detroit office said agents in Michigan were in Dearborn and Inkster conducting law enforcement activities Friday morning. Said more details will be released in the future. This is a story that we're going to be paying attention to today, and we will have updates as they become available, because I think that this is a big story, and I think that it highlights the need to stay vigilant as you're trick-or-treating tonight with your kids and your grandkids. Keep your head on a swivel. By all means, don't trust anything, and be ready, because you never know what could happen. It's scary times out there. It's wild. So just stay safe, stay prayed up, and be safe if you're going out. President Trump, again, we talked about the successful trip to China. He made it back in time to deliver candy at the White House for their Halloween festivities. But on the plane back, he was discussing that trip from China, and he said, very successful. Everybody knows it. Everybody, that is, except for Hakeem Jeffries, which we'll get to momentarily. President Trump, this is aboard Air Force One on the flight back from Asia.
I thought it was an amazing meeting. He's a great leader of a very powerful, very strong country, China. And what can I say? We have, it was an outstanding group of decisions, I think, that was made. A lot of decisions were made, too. There wasn't too much left out there. And we've come to conclusion on many very important points, and we'll be handing that to you in a little while. We're having, because there was a lot of different things.
A lot of different things we talked about. We came to a conclusion on a lot of different points. There's still some things to be finalized, but he also touted the victories that they got during the meeting with Xi Jinping.
We're in agreement on so many elements, large amounts, tremendous amounts of the soybeans and other farm products are going to be purchased immediately, starting immediately. If you notice, President Xi authorized yesterday for China to start, did you know that, right? China to start buying in very large quantities of soybeans and other things, which I appreciated. That was a very nice gesture. And many other things like that. On fentanyl, we agreed that he was going to work very hard to stop the flow. It's a very complex subject because it's used for lots of different reasons, including anesthetics and things. But he's going to work very hard on it, precursors, and I think you're going to see some real action taken. I've agreed, as you know, I put a 20% tariff on China because of the fentanyl coming in, which is it's a big tariff. And based on his statements today, I reduced it by 10%, so it's 10% instead of 20%, effective immediately. I believe he's going to work very hard to stop the death that's coming in.
So we got agreements on soybeans. We got negotiations being done on fentanyl. President Trump does understand that there is some need for it in the medical community, but I mean, not what we're seeing. Stopping those precursors is huge. He also said that they did discuss chips, and this is another big aspect of what's going on between the U.S. and China.
About chips, sir, did he agree? Did you agree to sell any more down
discuss chips. We did discuss chips, and they're going to be talking to NVIDIA and others about taking chips. Look, we make great chips. NVIDIA is the leader. And I'll be speaking to Jensen from NVIDIA, but they're going to be discussing that with NVIDIA to see whether or not they can do. I said that's really between you and NVIDIA, but we're sort of the arbitrator or the referee. It's a little rough up here. The skies are a little rough.
He's saying the skies are a little rough. If you're watching on Super Talk TV, the plane is bouncing. It's bouncing all around. And President Trump, in true President Trump fashion, he jokes about it. He says, I can't wait to see what the fake news says about this.
Discuss basically, these are rough winds in Asia. I must tell you, this is a rough flight. We could have waited an hour, maybe. This is a little tough. These are tough conditions for interviews. You know, they're going to be watching Trump. They're going to say, he didn't look too good. He's got the shakes. I don't have the shakes, but people are going to think I do.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that talking point for the Democrats. Did you see him on Air Force One? He could barely stand still. Again, for all intents and purposes, it was a very successful trip to Asia. Very successful negotiations with China. Very successful negotiations with Thailand, South Korea, Cambodia, you name it. $2 trillion in investments coming. The investments that we got from Japan are huge. We're once again reestablishing these relationships with our allies that were, I mean, for all intents and purposes, ignored under the Biden regime. And Donald Trump is not messing around. So you look at everything on its face and you go, very successful. How could you say anything else? Well, that is, unless you're a Democrat. Hakeem Jeffries, Timu Obama, he wanted to let everybody know that this was not actually successful at all.
It appears to most reasonable observers that Donald Trump was punked on the world stage by the Chinese Communist Party.
Punked on the world stage. Punked on the world stage. I'd love to see Hakeem Jeffries do a better job as president in the time frame that we've seen Donald Trump. Good luck, Timu Obama. Nobody takes Hakeem Jeffries serious. Even Democrats don't take Hakeem Jeffries serious. We've been calling him, Dollar Store Obama, Timu Obama, Buck Obama for months now, because that's what he is. He just feels like a cheap knockoff version of Barack Obama. Even Democrats are starting to notice that now. Enter Charlemagne from The Breakfast Club. He was hosting The Daily Show. Liberals still watch this. And he even took aim at Hakeem Jeffries and gave him a bit of a nickname.
These Republicans, they are not the party of law and order. They're the party of lawlessness and disorder in all of the ways, including the ongoing crime scene at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
Come on. People are angry. So why is Hakeem Jeffries talking like he's Chuck E. Cheese Obama? Okay? What are we doing? What are we doing?
70% of Americans think the Democrat Party is out of touch. They are losing support in droves. They'll try and tell you that this government shutdown is hurting Republicans. It is not. It is not at all. When you got a guy who is so for the party, like Charlemagne, who's going to go out there and trash Hakeem Jeffries on The Daily Show, no, we're winning. We're absolutely winning. That wasn't the harshest criticism of Hakeem Jeffries. Scott Bessent went in. He was on Fox Business yesterday, and after hearing Hakeem Jeffries say that Donald Trump got punked on the world stage, Scott Bessent didn't hold back, and he brought receipts. We'll talk about that next. It's 9:21. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Today is your last day. Well, I mean, I guess you could do it November 1st, but it's going to look awkward. So do it today. Make your kids carve a pumpkin of Buzz the Bee. Put it on social media. Tag Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, and you'll land yourself a free Beehive Club membership. It is the best value in HVAC, and you're going to get it for free. Just make the kids carve that pumpkin. Do it today, I'm telling you. And if you want to get some real treats, call Busy Bee today as well. If you need HVAC service, call them today and schedule your fall maintenance. That'll land you free dryer vent cleaning. That's a $229 value. If you got plumbing issues, call them. With any repair, they'll flush your water heater for free. Your pipes are going to thank you. And if you need a new HVAC system, they got a scary good deal happening right now, but you need to take advantage of it today. A free 10-year parts, 5-year labor warranty. That is a $750 value with any system install. Don't let the home headaches haunt you. Call Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling today. 615-775-7833. 615-775-7833. BusyBeeHVAC.com.
We have a few new details about the planned terror attack that was prevented in Michigan today, and why you may not be able to watch Vandy football this weekend. That and more at 9:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Joan Jones in the newsroom. Looking forward to those updates on the terror plot in Michigan, Joan. That's a crazy story.
Sure is.
And God bless the FBI for being out there. Keep your head on a swivel tonight if you are going out. We're talking about Hakeem Jeffries. He's not happy about the president's successful trip to Asia.
It appears to most reasonable observers that Donald Trump was punked on the world stage by the Chinese Communist Party.
Most reasonable observers. Most reasonable. Scott Bessent was not exactly impressed by this, and he went on Fox News to talk about it. And he reacted to Hakeem Jeffries saying that Donald Trump got punked by China on the world stage, and he did not hold back.
Well, look, he's the leader of the Democratic talking points. He's shut down the government, which is an international embarrassment.
10 seconds in. The leader of the Democrat talking points. He shut down the government, which is an international embarrassment.
And where were they? The Democrats, for the first 2 years, had the trifecta. They had the presidency, they had the House, they had the Senate, and what did they do? They did squat. They did squat. They wrote papers, they talked a lot, nothing got done.
Well, I will say this. During the first 2 years of the Joe Biden administration, when they did have control of the Senate, the House, the presidency, they did get some stuff done. They locked us in our homes. They censored us. They surveilled us. They prosecuted the president. They did. I mean, they got some stuff done. Nothing on the world stage, though.
And, not only did we inherit a gigantic deficit, we inherited a deficit of action on all of these problems. And, during COVID was the beta test for what happens. China proved itself to be an unreliable partner during COVID, and everyone should have taken that as all hands on deck. And instead, the Democrats were busy blowing out the spending, sending money for, the transgender surgery in Central America and the gender studies in, Myanmar. That was their idea. So, for Representative Jeffries to even say anything is really disingenuous, and he knows better, but he can't say better. That's the problem with today's Democratic Party. They're a hive. They have one set of talking points. They can't move away from them. 3 brave Democratic senators have come across the aisle to reopen the government. I'm calling on 5 more to come across, reopen the government before Thanksgiving, because as we can see, Newark Airport, Reagan Airport, air traffic controllers are going out, and what if there's an accident? What if there's an accident due to the shutdown? It is going to lie with the Democratic senators.
Scott Bessent is absolutely right. Now, we do need some more Democrats to come over, and it does appear that could be happening sooner rather than later. Mike Johnson was on Fox News earlier this morning, and he says that he's hearing of infighting. People are getting a little bit annoyed, a little bit stressed out, a little bit pissed off. We'll bring you those comments from Mike Johnson on the way. We'll also bring you more comments from U.S. Trade Representative Jameson Greer on that successful Asia trip. And we'll talk a little bit more government shutdown as No Snap November looms in front of us. Right now, though, it's 9:30 on Super Talk. Joan Jones with the headlines.
Good morning. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories for drivers. Be aware in Arrington on I-840, the eastbound lanes, there's a crash before Horton Highway exit number 42. In the news, the FBI says it prevented a terrorist attack that had been planned in Michigan. FBI Director Kash Patel saying on X that multiple suspects have been arrested. He called the plan a violent attack over the Halloween weekend. Now, NBC News is reporting a group of young individuals are in custody. The group, it said, has a nexus to some form of foreign extremism, but it didn't say if that's ISIS or Al-Qaeda or something else. Now, arrests took place in Dearborn and in the town of Inkster. Both of those are cities just outside of Detroit. We'll bring you more details as we learn them today. The government shutdown poised to enter the month of November now, which means the end of SNAP benefits and a skipped paycheck for federal workers. Tennessee Governor Bill Lee has announced the launch of a website for Tennesseans where they can go for help.
If you live in Tennessee, you can access feedtn.org to get help. The site offers a quick way to locate nearby food banks, donation centers, and volunteer opportunities. More than 300 community groups are working together to provide emergency assistance. And for additional help, call 211 or visit your local food bank online. Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Hey, if you're trying to watch Vanderbilt football this weekend, you won't be able to see the game on YouTube TV. ABC and ESPN have been blacked out.
From College Game Day, where ABC is the most watched network in college football, up 23% compared to last year, to Monday Night Football, where the Cowboys will face off with the Cardinals, to Dancing with the Stars, which had its biggest premiere in 5 years and has seen viewership skyrocket for 5 weeks. Your local news, GMA and World News Tonight, it's all gone dark, along with ESPN and the Disney networks.
That's ABC's Rebecca Jarvis. Now, you can watch the Vanderbilt-Texas football game using an antenna, a TV antenna. You could possibly pick up WKRN. That's Channel 2 here in Nashville. That is the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at USS, United Structural Systems. Sorry, Sam. I got distracted. I was doom scrolling on my phone. And you know what I was looking at? I was looking at pictures of water damage, foundation issues. This is what I do. My algorithm's all messed up. But I know who to call for this kind of stuff. I call USS. Let me ask you some questions. Are your floors sagging or cracks showing up in your drywall? Doors that just won't shut right? Those aren't small problems. Those are red flags. Those are warning signs. And a solid foundation is going to be the backbone of a strong home. When it weakens, the issue's only going to get worse with time. That's why I stand behind the guys at United Structural Systems. They've been doing the work since 1994, keeping Tennessee homes dry, stable, and secure the way they should be. USS uses American-made adjustable steel supports built to last, back with a transferable warranty. That's how confident they are in their work. When you leave the home, the warranty can stay. From I-beams to custom crawl space repairs, these guys are going to fix it right the first time. So when it comes to your home, don't kick the can down the road. Call USS today, 615-488-7855, 615-488-7855, or visit USSTN.com. 9:37 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? I'm Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. You can listen to us anywhere, iHeart, tune in, the FM dial. You can watch us. Super Talk TV is up and running. Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Rumble. Hit like, hit subscribe, share the show with your friends. Just something of note, tomorrow we have a new episode of Mostly Peaceful with Dan and Chris dropping. We have the most terrifying EBT-related threatening videos that we're going to be playing throughout the podcast. Drops at 7 a.m., I believe. 7 a.m. Mostly Peaceful with Dan and Chris tomorrow on the YouTube channels. Make sure you join us over there. Democrats right now, apparently it's getting a little tense. You can cut the tension with a knife because everybody understands that Chuck Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries are only keeping the government closed because they're worried about being primaried. They're worried about losing power. And there's other Democrats that are also worried about losing power, but they're in more purplish areas. And they're worried that they're going to lose power because Chuck Schumer is keeping the government closed. Mike Johnson was talking about this yesterday, the tension that is rising inside the Democrat Party.
Very upset about that. The tension is rising. You had Senator John Fetterman of Pennsylvania, for example, who just yesterday, I think it was, accused his own party of, quote, playing chicken with the food security of 42 million Americans. He's right. And you've seen now the avalanche of people and organizations and institutions calling on the Democrats to reopen the government and vote for the clean CR. You got labor unions. You got the largest airlines in America. You got independent voters. Working class Americans across the country, they are all pleading with the Democrats to do their job and stop using their hardships, the people's hardships, for the Democrats' political games in Washington.
What do you think the odds are that they're going to stop doing that? We've heard the new talking point. President Trump is weaponizing hunger. Yet we've also heard just about every Democrat say, we got some leverage here. We should use this to our advantage. So who is weaponizing hunger? I think that you can make the argument it's the Democrats. Donald Trump yesterday came out in support of nuking the filibuster so that way they can get this government shutdown over with once and for all. I wonder what your thoughts are on that, 615-737-9986. A lot of people will tell you that, anything that the Democrats do can be done to us. And I think you could make the argument that even if we don't do it to them, they'll be willing to do it to us should they ever regain power. And I think now we have an opening, we have a window where we can make sure that they never regain power again. So why not go for it? President Trump on Truth Social saying Majority Leader Thune and Speaker of the House Mike Johnson are doing a great job, but the Democrats are crazed lunatics that have lost all sense of wisdom and reality. It's a sick form of the now legendary Trump derangement syndrome, TDS. That only comes from losing too much. They want trillions of dollars to be taken from our healthcare system and given to others who are not deserving. People have come into our country illegally, many from prisons and mental institutions. This will hurt American citizens, and Republicans will not let it happen. It is now time for the Republicans to play their trump card and go for what is called the nuclear option. Get rid of the filibuster and get rid of it now. Just a short while ago, the Democrats, while in power, fought for 3 years to do this and were unable to pull it off because of Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema. And never have the Democrats fought so hard to do something because they knew the tremendous strength that terminating the filibuster would give them. They want to substantially expand, pack the United States Supreme Court, make Washington, D.C. and Puerto Rico states, thereby automatically picking up 4 Senate seats, many House seats, and at least 8 electoral votes, and many other highly destructive things. Well, now we are in power. And if we did what we should be doing, it would immediately end this ridiculous country-destroying shutdown. If the Democrats ever come back into power, which would be made easier for them if Republicans are not using the great strength and policies made available to us by ending the filibuster, the Democrats will exercise their rights, and it will be done in the first day they take office, regardless of whether or not we do it. In addition to all of the other things we would get, such as the best judges, the best U.S. attorneys, the best of everything, this was a concept from years ago of then President Barack Hussein Obama and former Majority Leader Harry Reid in order to take advantage of Republicans. Now I want to do it in order to take advantage of the Democrats. Who says no? Who says no? At a certain point, we do have to understand that the Democrats would do this against us. The Democrats wanted to do this against us. So should we take advantage of it now? Or should we wait for them to come back into power and do it to us like they wanted to anyway. I think we take advantage of it now. I think we lean in with the president and we go for it. Mike Johnson agrees with the president. He went on Fox and Friends this morning, and he said, listen, the option of nuking the filibuster, it might be what they need to do.
Post last night about the filibuster. We just want this to end. They do not deny that the Democrats themselves, that they are prolonging this pain. They admit to it. They said they're using it as leverage. The big question everybody needs to ask this morning is why. They're trying to appeal to the radical left Marxist rise in their party. That is sum total what this entire thing is about. It is infuriating to us.
I think it's also Trump derangement syndrome. They don't want to give y'all anything. How much weight do these 4 airlines have on their decisions, on the Democrats' decisions? I'm sure they have lobbyists that are talking to them saying, y'all need to just sign this clean CR.
Yeah, it's the airlines. It's also the unions. The largest federal employee union, as y'all have reported, came out a couple days ago and said, please pass the clean CR. They represent 820,000 federal employees. That's supposed to be a constituency, the unions that the Democrats claim as their own. Look, you have more unions coming out. You had the head of the Teamsters out there.
So she brings up a point about airline CEOs, unions coming out against the Democrats, saying that they should end the shutdown, pass the clean CR. But Mike Johnson seems like he'd be all on board about ending the filibuster as well. The CEOs that the Fox and Friends host was talking about, they were speaking yesterday with J.D. Vance, and it was the CEO of United Airlines who went scorched earth against Chuck Schumer and the Democrats and the shutdown that they've imposed upon the American people. And he said, let's get a clean CR, and let's stop putting the American worker and the American economy at risk. This is the United Airlines CEO.
Really thanking the professionals, the air traffic controllers, the folks at the TSA, also the FAA, the people in management. They're working hard. They are keeping the skies safe. They've minimized delays. Fewer than 2% of flights have been delayed so far because of air traffic control shortages. So they've done a great job. But it's putting stress on people. It's not fair to those people. It's also putting stress on the economy. You know, the first couple of weeks this had no impact on the economy, but as every day goes by, the impacts start to grow. And airlines are a pretty good real-time indicator of the economy.
Yep.
And we start to see, still minor, but steep booking impact. And you see that happening in the economy. We put the whole economy at risk. And so it's been 30 days. And while I don't have a position on which partisan side and how things should be settled with healthcare, it has been 30 days. I also think it is time to pass a clean CR. Use that as the opportunity to get into a room behind closed doors and negotiate hard on the real and substantive issues that the American people want our politicians on both sides of the aisle to solve. But let's get a clean CR and get that negotiation done.
I love it. I'm not getting on the partisan side. It's like, but you do understand, sir. This is Scott Kirby, the CEO of United Airlines, speaking there. You do understand, by standing next to Vance and Secretary Duffy, you have chosen a side to the Democrats. They look at that as you choosing a side. So you can say, I don't want to get into the partisan stuff. It's like, well, kind of already taken a stance. J.D. Vance, while there, he was pissed. He slammed the Democrats on their failures to negotiate. He slammed them on their failure to reopen the government. And he said that we're not going to negotiate with them. He said this is like you're dealing with a screaming toddler. This is what J.D. Vance says. Like, what do you do? What do you do? You can't. If the kid goes down in the middle of the grocery store because they want Reese's and you don't want to get him a Reese's, you're not gonna bend the knee because they're on the floor kicking and screaming. No. You pick that kid up and you walk out of the store. And that's what the argument J.D. Vance is making here yesterday outside the White House.
Here is our very simple proposal to the Democrats. Let's sit down and come to a compromise and work it out. And you know what the Democrats' response to that is? Give us everything we want or we're going to shut down the government and keep it shut down. That is not reasonable behavior. That's not how you do compromise in this town. That is the way that the Democrats have operated. They are trying to take a hostage, and we can't reward that behavior. If we do that, if we say, yes, of course, we'll give you everything that you want if you reopen the government, you know what's going to happen? In 3 months, they're going to come back to the administration, and they're again going to say, we're going to shut down the aviation industry. We're going to deny people SNAP benefits unless you give us exactly what you want. That's how a child behaves. That is not how a responsible governing party behaves in the United States of America. And let me make one final point.
But before he makes that final point, he's absolutely right. That is how a child behaves. You fall on the ground, you're kicking and screaming, you're throwing a fit. You cannot give in to that. It's so simple. We had this happen yesterday at the house. My 3-year-old, she had a little Halloween thing at school. She wanted a ring pop. We're not having that ring pop. Dad's planning on eating that after you go to bed. So the answer is no. And
poor Millie.
Well, there was red dye in it. I'm not gonna do that to her.
So you're sacrificing yourself.
I was the hero in this situation, John.
Got it.
So anyway,
yeah.
So we're not having the real reason it was close to dinner. But anyway, it was funny to say that I was going to eat it after bedtime. I did eat it, by the way.
Nice.
Anyway, she falls to the ground. She's screaming. She's losing it. And then me and my wife, we just don't react. It's just, you scream it out. And eventually she calms down. She comes to her senses. She sat down. She had dinner. This is how you need to deal with the Democrats as well. At a certain point, these Democrats are going to come to their senses. You heard Mike Johnson talking earlier on Fox and Friends. He says the tension is high. There are Democrats that are calling for this to be ended. They just need to get Chuck Schumer on board so that way they can get the ball rolling. It's going to happen one way or another. But to bend the knee, that's not going to help anybody.
And let me make one final point, and then we'll cut out of this press conference. Look, I've been a little bit unfair, and I want to correct this, because when I say the Democrats have shut down the government, it's actually the far left side of the Democratic Party, because to their great credit, 3 moderate Democrats joined 52 Senate Republicans to vote to reopen the government. We need 5 more reasonable Democrats to put the American people first and reopen the government. That's all that we're asking. Let's talk about health care policy. Let's make sure that we ensure that Americans' health insurance premiums don't go up. We want that, and we're willing to work with people for it, but they've got to reopen the government first. Sean came from a background not that dissimilar from mine. Sean O'Brien came from a background not that dissimilar from mine. There are moms and dads who are fighting right now because they're worried about not being able to pay the credit card bill and the mortgage bill. There are parents who have to look their kids in the eye and say, you know what, we're not going to do football this year. We're not going to do basketball this year because I can't pay for it because the federal government is shut down and I'm not getting a paycheck. Do we want those people who keep the aviation system running to not be able to feed their families, to not be able to pay for some of the things that make life worth living? The answer to that question is absolutely. We want them to be able to afford a good life. The only way for that to happen is to reopen the government. It'll be good for those who fly. It'll be good for those who work in the aviation industry. It'll be good for the whole country. Just do the common sense thing, Democrats. Reopen the government. We need 5 Senate Democrats to join us. I hope that they will. Thank you.
What do you think the over-under is on when this ends? Does this go all the way to Thanksgiving? Does this at least go past the next elections with Jack Ciattarelli in New Jersey and Abigail Spanberger in Virginia? I think that's probably the most realistic thing. They're going to use this as fodder until then, and then at some point after those elections, they're going to bend the knee. That's my guess. I could be wrong. It could end a lot sooner, and I hope it does. But I hope it doesn't end because the Republicans bend any knees. It doesn't seem like any of the Republican leadership is willing to do that. Let's pray that they stay strong. Now let's pray that the Democrats come to their senses, and those are going to be we're going to need to pray that pretty hard. Let's not kid ourselves. 9:51 Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? This is a message for dads out there. My name is Chris Hand, and I want to tell you about something really cool coming to Nashville. It's the All-Pro Dad Experience at Nissan Stadium on Friday, November 7th. All-Pro Dad is this group that's been helping fathers lead and love their families for nearly 30 years. It was founded by Tony Dungy and Mark Merrill, and their mission is to equip men for the most important job of all. It's being a dad. Like there's no job bigger than that. Here's how it works. You spend a minute a day with their play of the day emails. You spend an hour a week listening to their podcasts on fatherhood. You spend an hour a month hanging out with the school chapters, connecting dads with their kids, and one day a year at an all-pro dad experience. That's what this event is, coming to Nissan Stadium next Friday, packed with interactive games, life lessons, quality time with the kids. There's over 1,700 chapters of All-Pro Dad worldwide, and there's 80 right here in Tennessee helping dads raise strong, confident families. So mark your calendar, Friday, November 7th at Nissan Stadium. Give your kids a day they'll never forget. Tickets are super affordable. Things like $35 a family. You can use promo code DAD to get $5 off at allprodad.com to register. Or if you want to go, and I think it's important to note, if you're a single mom, you're a grandparent, dad's not around, you're welcome to join this as well. We want to raise men. That's what this is about. And you guys are invited. We actually have some free tickets. We got tickets for you and the entire family. So if you want those tickets, just call the radio station right now and we'll get you hooked up. It's happening next Friday at Nissan Stadium, 615-737-9986, 615-737-9986. We'll give the tickets away to caller number 5. Be an All-Pro Dad. If you don't win the tickets, get your tickets, allprodad.com.
I will ask you this directly because a lot of people listen, they tune in, they tune out, and they perhaps have not heard this conversation in the past. But if you were called to something beyond what you're currently doing, I think you've made no bones about it that you would look toward public service in a future capacity in any way that you can serve the people of Tennessee?
Yes,
Is that fair?
I would, absolutely. Yeah, I've had a remarkable life, man. I grew up on a farm in Missouri. My family didn't have a whole lot. And from there, I found something I was good at and traveled the world, entertained millions of people, provided my family with a life I wouldn't have thought possible. I'm a product of the American dream, and I'm a big believer in what Ronald Reagan said, that freedom is never more than a generation away from extinction. So people like me who have benefited so much from what this country has to offer and the opportunities that we're given, we create for ourselves, I think that it's imperative that we make sure
Coming
to pass
up
that
here
on to the next
on
generation.
Super Talk, what we
And
know
if-
about the
if
FBI
wrestling
raids that
wasn't
stopped a
enough of a blood
terrorist
sport,
attack in
you went from
Michigan
that
today. Also, a new batch
to
of
the
layoffs
ultimate
here
blood sport.
in Middle Tennessee. Those stories and more coming up at 10 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Joan Jones in the newsroom. My name is Chris Hand. The show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. You know who just popped by? Matt Murphy. He made some candied popcorn.
I told him I'm on a diet.
You told him that?
Yeah.
Why are you on a diet?
Doesn't matter. I took the goodies anyway.
Good. I was going to say, you look great. This popcorn looks great.
I know.
He started giving me some, and I was like, all right, keep it coming. And he's like, all right, here's 2. I said, you know how many kids I have, right? He goes, it's 3, right? I said, no, it's more than that. And so now I have 4 bags of popcorn for the kids, which will be 2 bags by the time I get home. And I'll say, I don't know, talk to Mr. Murphy.
Probably have a dog that's going to eat some of it too. So
Yeah. You know, this is where we're at. On the way, we're going to talk a little bit more about the government shutdown. We're going to talk about what's going on in Sudan. It's a news story that isn't getting the mainstream coverage that it needs. There's a legitimate genocide happening over there, and it's crazy. Also, in the theme of Halloween, we'll be visited by the Wicked Witch. Kamala Harris gave a podcast interview, and she's running for president again. She's absolutely running for president again. But she's so salty and so butthurt that Joe Biden didn't have her back. If you like delicious, salty liberal tears, this is going to be for you. I promise. 10 o'clock, Super Talk, 99.7 WTN.
Good morning, 10 o'clock now. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. Well, a terrorist plot broken up in Michigan this morning. The FBI arresting a group of young people. Police have been searching 3 homes in the Dearborn area. This reporter from Local 4 in Detroit is standing outside one of those homes.
We're actually right next to Thwarts High School. So just imagine this. This is a residential area. A lot of people starting their morning with noticing the presence of FBI agents here as well as MSP. And so we have been seeing agents going in and out of this home right there on your screens. It's unclear at this moment what exactly they are looking for, what is the nature of the foiled terrorist attack, but there's been a lot of commotion at this particular home, neighbors looking on nearby.
Yeah, FBI Director Kash Patel confirming that this is connected to a foreign terrorist group, although he's not saying which one. We will learn more as the day goes on here. We're hoping to see some kind of a press conference later on today. In the rest of the news this morning, the Senate adjourned now until Monday. There is no expectation that the government shutdown is going to end before tomorrow, and that means another skipped paycheck for federal workers and no funds on EBT cards for 40 million people living in the U.S.
The Democrats in the Senate have got to reopen the government. Again, it's the most fundamental responsibility of Congress is to have the government operate and work for the people. And that's the #1 priority right now, and we cannot deviate from that.
House Speaker Mike Johnson this morning on Fox News. More layoffs for Middle Tennessee workers. Japanese IT firm NTT Data laying off 108 employees at its Nashville office. That's about a third of its employees. The Nashville location opened in 2021. Now, earlier this month, Altium Cells in Spring Hill announced temporary layoffs for 700 employees. And Home Depot said it'll close its HD supply facility in Laverne. That affects about 108 people. There's another questionable decision from one Metro school leader. Here's Channel 4's Lauren Lowry.
We've confirmed Dr. Adrienne Battle's office suite was remodeled for $165,000. It comes after the district had just paid out $6.5 million to settle a lawsuit against Battle brought by 5 former administrators. Now, as part of that remodel, a brand new personal bathroom was built for the superintendent.
Channel 4 says there is a women's bathroom right outside of the superintendent's office. That is the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
I will ask you this directly because
why am I so happy and so excited that Jimmy Kimmel lied to his audience?
He had some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points.
I'm excited because the liberal and the legacy media have been lying about Republicans for years, and people like this are finally taking notice.
I didn't think much of the death because from what I had heard, Charlie Kirk had been a neo-Nazi who wanted me to be dead. He didn't support my existence and whatnot. And now I'm kind of sitting here thinking, and I'm like, I feel like I had been lied to. I really took some time after the, thing happened to kind of look into his videos, look into his beliefs, look into his thoughts and who he was as a person. And to me, he seemed like a well-mannered family man. He believed in the country. He believed in the greater good of the country. He had his own political beliefs and opinions. And sure, there's a lot of things that I don't agree with him on, but I never would stand for him dying or being murdered because of his beliefs. And I think I may be starting to lean a lot farther right in response to everything that's taken place.
It's 10:05 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. You can listen to us anywhere. iHeart, tune in, the FM dial. You can watch the show. We're on Super Talk TV, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Rumble. Hit like, hit subscribe. All the digital platforms have a share button. Help us grow the digital footprint of the radio station. And hit that share button. We appreciate it when you do so. New episode of Mostly Peaceful with Dan and Chris dropping tomorrow morning, 7 a.m.? 7 a.m. I think it's 7 a.m. Yep.
6 a.m.
6 a.m. Bright and early.
Bright and early.
We had a good podcast episode.
It was a good one.
It was a good one. Dan, I couldn't believe the things he was saying.
I couldn't hold back.
If you want uncensored Dan, Saturday morning at 6 a.m. on our YouTube page. New Mostly Peaceful episodes dropping. And we're getting real close to our More Than a Meal radiothon with the Nashville Rescue Mission Monday before Thanksgiving. You can find out ways to get involved, 997WTN.com/events. You can go to the NashvilleRescueMission.org. That's a great day. And it's more important than ever. I mean, as we're staring down this government shutdown, we're looking at SNAP benefits running out. We understand it's going to be tough times for a lot of people. Having an institution like the Nashville Rescue Mission that doesn't depend on the government, that doesn't depend on taxpayer money, it really highlights how important a place like that is. So they do need your support. They're not dependent on the government. They're not dependent on taxpayer funds. They're dependent on the community. So we ask you to join us for that Rescue Mission Radiothon Monday before Thanksgiving. It's going to be an all-hands-on-deck event all day long, and we're really looking forward to it. It's a special day, and it's a blessing to be able to be a part of it, a small part of it. The team here works tirelessly. Everybody, sales, promotions. I know the Nashville Rescue Mission team is working tirelessly to get ready for it. It's a big day, so we want you to be a part of it, and thank you in advance. You guys always show up. In the meantime, it is Halloween. We do spooky things. We give you nightmare fuel. Would you like some nightmare fuel? Let's do nightmare fuel.
What kind of fuel is this nightmare?
It's the fueliest.
The fueliest of nightmares?
I didn't know what to say. It was kind of a weird question.
Sorry, I don't know where I was going with that.
It's diesel fuel. It's the kind of fuel you'd put in a boat trying to dodge a drone strike off the coast of Venezuela. Also, did you see that? We might actually be doing strikes on their military installations. That's breaking right now. I'll be paying attention to that during the break. But in the meantime, Kamala Harris, she sat down for a podcast interview.
Oh, that kind of nightmare fuel. Yeah.
Yep. The Wicked Witch of the West.
What a ridiculous clown show.
Yep. I listened to this interview, and there's no way you can tell me that Kamala Harris isn't going to be running for president again. She said that when she lost, she went into a state of shock.
I was in a state of shock.
Really? Did you think the day before that you were going to win the election? Yeah. And so when did the proverbial penny drop?
I love that. Did you think the day before you were going to win? I did. You know that Kamala Harris's own campaign revealed that they never led in any internal polling. So is she that delusional, or is she just talking a big game? When did the proverbial penny drop? Is that a British thing? When did the penny drop? I always heard the shoe. When does the shoe drop?
Yeah, I heard the shoe as well.
I don't know if it's a British thing or if it's an idiot liberal thing.
I don't know. Maybe it's just a chance to get pennies to do something.
Maybe.
When I got a call from my campaign manager that it looks like we need 200,000 more votes that we can't find.
Didn't Donald Trump get impeached for something like that? Didn't he call Georgia and he said, I need you to find more votes? And they said, you can't do that, sir. That's illegal. And that now we're being told that Kamala's campaign manager was also looking for votes.
Meaning it's just the map, the numbers. And the thing I kept saying over and over again, I was in a state of shock. I was so inarticulate, but maybe very articulate. What I kept saying over and over again is, my God, my God, my God.
Really?
It's nice that she finally decides to pray. So she was inarticulate and very articulate. How drunk were you, though? That's the question people want to know. How many swigs of Goldschlager did you have?
Over and over. I couldn't stop. I haven't felt that emotion, anything similar to the emotion I felt that day and for quite some time, other than the grief I felt when my mother died. I knew what was going to happen to our country.
That we were going to bring in record investments and the economy was going to get back and the border was going to be secured and we're going to be respected on the world stage again and we're going to bring world peace and end stupid conflicts all over the globe. Do I need to go on? All from a guy that used to work at McDonald's? Can you believe that? Unbelievable.
Makes sense. I knew the harm that was going to happen to people. And I knew it. I knew what was going to happen.
So deep, so stunning, so brave. How can she continue on? She knew this presidency would be this successful. She knew it. She knew it. But she also is pretty mad at Joe Biden. A lot of this podcast circles around her interactions with Joe. And one of the first tastes we get of it is she talks about watching the debate between Joe and Trump.
The debate that came before with Biden and Trump, it was so apparently clear that this was not okay.
Yeah.
And it felt like the whole of the Democratic side of politics was pretending everything was okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of my observation from the UK. I was like, why are they all pretending everything's fine? But this was clearly an individual that was very much struggling with articulation, with ideas.
Yeah.
And in the face of someone like Trump, who, to his credit, is able to pounce on that, to be very quick.
And he...
I love it. He goes, how is it, from my point of view, we all knew that he was a step slow, $1 short, few fries short of a Happy Meal, all the things. How did you guys not know? Well, see, my friend, they knew. They knew very, very much. It's just that they could control Joe Biden. We saw what they did with the auto pen. We saw what they were able to do behind the scenes. Joe wasn't in control of the country for the entire 4 years, and we all know that. Kamala does something here, though, that I was kind of rather shocked by. She gives Trump credit.
And he, interestingly enough, because of course I watched that debate very closely for many, many reasons, including I had 4 interviews right after his debate.
Okay.
To speak on behalf of the president during the debate. And what was interesting in that debate was also to watch how it's a very rare circumstance that you see Donald Trump actually moderate. It was fascinating.
Fascinating. Donald Trump had to moderate because the moderators were on Team Joe.
You must have known. You must have. You sat there. You were in LA at the time, right?
I was in LA at the Fairmont Hotel.
Watching.
And
what was going on?
Taking vigorous notes. I had ordered, like they had a little crudité plate, and I was like, no, this is a pizza night. I ordered pizza for everyone. I had a number of people with me, but I had a tight group of people with me in the room. He called me from debate camp.
Mm-hmm.
Remember debate camp? Didn't he study for like 2 or 3 weeks for the debate with Trump? So there's a ridiculous amount of time as the world is on fire. He's like, well, I'm going to shut it down. We're going to call a lid at 10:30. I'm going to go to debate camp.
I think he took a vacation in between there somewhere.
For a guy that he'd already debated before.
Yeah.
And a guy that didn't have another term at that point. Like you could still debate him on all the other. Yep. Yeah.
The president did, Biden did. And I could tell something was a little off.
Just a little.
And I was concerned about, I don't think he wanted to debate, is my point. He didn't want that debate. That's really good.
Trump's
That's really
strategy
good.
is he leads with.
That's
and
exactly right.
He's a master labeler, Sleepy Joe. You can't.
Is very gifted. Don't discount the guy in terms of that.
How do you beat someone playing that game?
You have to be relentless.
You don't, actually, if you're Kamala Harris or Joe Biden. You don't. 7 swing states, popular vote, electoral college vote. How do you beat somebody like that? You can't. Kamala Harris certainly can't. And if she thinks she's going to get into the race and be able to beat J.D. Vance, I would say good luck. Best of luck to you. Kamala can probably beat Gavin Newsom. Let's be honest. I think that you can make the argument that California under Gavin Newsom was even more disastrous than America under Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. I think you could make the argument. Maybe. But I think Kamala's running. She's gearing up. You can tell with these media tours. But so she talked about the debate with Joe Biden and Trump. And then she talks about the phone call that she got from Biden before her debate with Donald Trump. And she says that during this phone call, she's actually shocked because Joe spent a lot of time telling her that nobody liked her. That this is right before the debate. Joe calls up and he goes, hey, kid, good luck. By the way, there's a lot of people that don't like you.
I'm in the hotel room with Doug, with my husband. And the president calls. And I was told that he wanted to call me so that I'd be ready. And I was so sure it was to buck me up and go get him. And he did say that for the first beat. And then he went on to talk about a group of people in Pennsylvania who were saying bad things about me.
I don't know why. I don't know why. But that just feels so Joe, doesn't it? By the way, Pennsylvania hates you. You gotta look out. He turned out to be right. The old guy who was a doddering old man pooping his pants in front of the Pope, being led around by Barack Obama on stage, losing his way from the stairs to the podium, having note cards with the reporters' faces on. You know, he couldn't do many things at that point, but he did know that Kamala wasn't going to win Pennsylvania. He knew. We were talking earlier, and we had said that, Trump wants the Republicans to nuke the filibuster. And there's a lot of voices out there say you can't do that because then the Democrats are going to do it. They're going to be able to use it against us. And I say you'd make the argument the Democrats are going to do all sorts of crazy things to us should they ever regain power again. We need to use every tool in our arsenal today to win this country for good and make sure that the Democrats can never regain power. And just to highlight the absurdity, the lengths that the Democrats will go to, Kamala Harris on this podcast said that she wants to lower the voting age to 16 because of climate anxiety.
I think we should reduce voting age to 16. I'll tell you why. So, Gen Z, they're age about 13 through 27. They've only known the climate crisis. They missed substantial parts of their education because of the pandemic.
Because of the Biden administration.
If they're in high school or college, especially in college, it is very likely that whatever they've chosen as their major for study may not result in an affordable wage.
We've been saying college is a scam
They've
for years.
coined the term climate anxiety to describe fear of not only being able to buy a home, but that fear will be wiped out by extreme weather, but fear of having children. It is expected that Gen Z will have 10 to 12 jobs in their lifetime. They are a larger number than boomers. They're a specific generation of people who are going to impact our nation and the world. And I think we must invest in them, but I think that they are rightly impatient with a lot of what is the tradition of leadership right now. And if they were able to vote, because they know everything that's happening right now is going to impact them more than anybody older than them, for the most part, in terms of how these systems work.
Deep thoughts with Kamala Harris. There is some truth to what she's saying. The younger voters do understand that the older people clinging on to power have no idea what's going on in the real world in 2025. That's just a fact. We actually talked about this on the podcast, myself and Dan. That's dropping tomorrow. But we, even guys like Chuck Grassley, I like Chuck Grassley, and I'm grateful for what he's doing with the whistleblowers and Arctic Frost, but he's 91 years old. Do you know what the conversation is online? Do you know what the new base of the Republican Party is talking about? When she says that she wants Gen Z to vote and she wants to lower the voting age to 16, I think that would backfire on them because Gen Z is the most conservative generation in the history of the country, and they're going to absolutely shape this country for years and years to come. But I would pump the brakes on that big time. We all know that your brain isn't even fully developed until you're, 25, 26? So we're going to lower the voting age? No. That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. I would like more restrictions on voting. I want you to actually have some skin in the game and not just be voting for free stuff and cool things. We're gonna see how that goes in New York City with the mayoral race. It's a mess. Kamala Harris providing nightmare fuel. She is 100% running for president again, and she may even be the Democrat nominee. Who else? Who else if not her? Gavin Newsom, Stephen A. Smith. Tell you what, Stephen A. Smith could take out both of them in a debate, and that would be a joy to watch. But he would be controlled if he ever won the presidency, just like Biden was controlled. So I don't think he's a good option. And he's a liberal. that weighs heavy as well. We got a lot more to talk about. We are paying attention to what's happening in Venezuela, and we'll bring you the latest updates on that when we return. It's 1022 Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at the Glock Store. If you love freedom, you love the Second Amendment, and you love a good deal, listen up. This is for you. My friends at the Glock Store aren't just going to do a regular Black Friday sale. No, they're throwing a full-blown freedom party, a celebration, if you will. Forget the big box store chaos. This is where the real Americans are going to be on Black Friday. These guys are about to blow the doors off of every sale you've ever seen. Think massive discounts on everything, even Glocks. Plus giveaways on top of giveaways on top of giveaways, food trucks, maybe even some live music. And the whole thing is shaping up to be an event that you're going to brag about being at later. And if you know the Glock Store, you know they don't mess around. It was just a couple Saturdays ago. They gave away over 10 grand in Vortex optics to people just for showing up. I'm told that this Black Friday blowout is going to make that event look small. So skip the mall and celebrate your right to bear arms at the one and only Glock Store. Minutes from the airport, worth the drive from anywhere, especially on Black Friday.
I'm Pastor Alan Jackson, and I'm excited to invite you to join me for my brand new show on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Every Sunday night from 7 to 8, I'll be talking about the week's news and headlines, but through a biblical lens. Together, we'll look at what's happening in our world and how God's Word can guide us through it. Join me, Pastor Alan Jackson, Sunday evenings at 7 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN, and you can listen on iHeartRadio and tune in.
We've got the latest on the Michigan terror plot that was busted by the FBI this morning. Also, we'll tell you who is saying that the U.S. is about to launch attacks inside Venezuela. That and more at 10:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Joan Jones in the newsroom. My name is Chris Hand. It is 10:26 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Show's brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC, Water Filtration Systems, Water Softeners, BetterWater.com. Happy Halloween, everybody. Matt Murphy brought us in these treats, for the kids. I made the comment on the air that the kids probably won't get them. And I got a text from the kids. So we're listening. We're listening.
Busted.
Shouldn't have said anything.
Yeah.
My big mouth getting me into trouble. Who would have thought? We got a lot to get to today. I'm not going to spoil Joan in the news with Venezuela, but I'm looking forward to that. There was an FBI terror plot that was thwarted in Michigan, Dearborn, of course. Of course. That you didn't need to. I probably didn't need to tell you.
Wasn't going to be nice rural parts of Michigan.
No, we're not talking about the spots in the Tim Allen Pure Michigan ads that are being talked about. It's not Traverse City, right? It's not Mackinac Island. No, it's Dearbornistan. Of course it is. So we'll be paying attention to that, and should they come on with any press conference or any updates on that, we will bring you the latest. We'll also be keeping our eyes on Venezuela and bringing you the latest on that. I know Joan is coming up in the news with some headlines on that. In the meantime, there is a lot of stories to get to. The government is still shut down. In case you're keeping score at home, Rep. Wesley Hunt out of Texas, I like this guy a lot. He said that the Democrats need to be forced into submission here and that we cannot bend the knee. This is the attitude that Republicans need to keep. This is the energy that we need to be portraying. This is the move.
This is the Schumer shutdown, and keep in mind that we have, obviously, we won the presidency. We have a majority in the House, and we passed this, and we did our job. And almost every single Republican has voted for this as well. And so Schumer has shut the government down, and then now he's playing political football because he is actually more worried about getting a primary from AOC. And because of that, people are not going to get paid. We cannot budge on this issue, however, because we are on the right side of history. They have already signed on to 2 continuing resolutions this year. This is the 3rd. And why are they not signing on to this? Because they get sick of losing to President Trump. Again, we have to stick to our guns. We have to make sure that we work for the American people and ensure that we get these people paid. And eventually, they will have to come to the mat, and they will have to stop playing political games with the American people.
No, that's all they're doing. They're playing political games. They're saying that President Trump is weaponizing hunger, yet we've heard every Democrat say that they're using the government shutdown as leverage. Mike Johnson, he doesn't seem like he's bending the knee at all. He's been upset to downright pissed at different times. And yesterday on Fox News, he reminded everybody that it was the Democrats that have voted now 14 times to keep the government closed.
They are the ones that have voted now between the House and the Senate 14 times to close the government and impose all this pain on the American people. It's the Republicans who have voted over and over to keep the government open. I think there is a break coming. I think the dynamic will change. I certainly hope so. We pray that's true, that the Democrats will be able to continue to feel the pressure from the American people, from all these voices, even in the moderate and center left, like the unions, who are saying, please do the right thing. Stop playing games. You're hurting real Americans, and break that impasse. We're appealing to whatever moderate and centrist Democrats are left in the Senate to do the right thing, put the politics aside, do the right thing for the people so we can get about our work here again and get the government open.
Well, I don't see it happening anytime soon. It'll probably be next week at the earliest, Thanksgiving at the latest. What's Polymarket saying on the bets for when the government reopens? I think that the leading bet right now, Polymarket is the betting the betting platform. The leading bet right now is, what is it, November 4th to 7th, 21%. November 4th to 7th, 21%. Oh, no, never mind. The leading one's November 16th, past November 16th at 44%. Yikes. Today through November 3rd, 4% chance. 4% chance. I don't see it happening this weekend. I don't see this happening until the Democrats get an earful from their voters when the SNAP benefits run out, which will be tomorrow if the government doesn't reopen. It's 10:30, Super Talk, 99.7 WTN.
Good morning. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. The latest information now on that terrorist plot that was prevented this morning in Michigan. The FBI is on the scene right now of 2 homes in Dearborn and 1 in the town of Inkster, Michigan. These raids coming after the arrest of multiple people. Channel 4 in nearby Detroit has reporters outside of those homes. This is one of the channel's anchors just a short while ago.
I do want to point out, and this is critical, that the attack that was planned and thwarted by the FBI, we're not saying that these communities, these cities are the ones that were targeted. All we know right now is that this is where the current investigation is. So there's a good chance the homes that you're looking at live right now with FBI investigators and state police investigators and others, locals, working inside these homes, there's a strong possibility that those that have been arrested that are accused of planning this terrorist attack were either living inside of these homes or working inside of these homes.
Now, the FBI is saying this attack involved an international terrorist organization, and those arrested were young people. The case involves federal charges, but the court documents right now are sealed. Now, the Daily Mail says that in May, the FBI arrested a man who had spent months planning an attack against an army site in Detroit on behalf of ISIS. He was unknowingly working with undercover FBI employees. In other news, is the U.S. preparing to attack military bases inside Venezuela? Well, there's a report in the Miami Herald that says airstrikes could be launched within days as America moves into a new phase of the war on drug cartels. These attacks come as Democrats have criticized the Trump administration's targeting of drug vessels headed to the U.S.
We have exquisite intelligence on exactly what we're doing, who is being targeted. They're bringing massive amounts of deadly narcotics into the country. Fentanyl was a leading cause of death for Americans aged 18 to 49 during the Biden years. We have a president now who is protecting the American people, and they ought to be applauding that instead of criticizing it.
House Speaker Mike Johnson there, the Miami Herald saying that President Trump and his team are focused on destabilizing Venezuela's socialist tyrant, Nicolas Maduro. That is the latest news. We've got your weather next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at Zero Res Nashville, and you may need to be calling Zero Res after this weekend. Are the kids going to be tracking in mud onto the carpets after trick-or-treating? Are they going to sprawl around on the floor and spread out all their Halloween candy and count what they got? Are you going to get Reese's smudged into the carpet? You probably are. And when that happens, don't panic. Just know in the back of your mind, Zero Res will clean any carpet in your house for just $45 per room. That's it. It's not going to break the bank. These guys use their exclusive ZR water, no soap, no harsh chemicals, no residue, which means your carpets and upholstery just won't look insanely clean. They're going to stay clean longer, and they can get all that gunk, junk, and taffy out of the carpets after Halloween. It's not just carpets. They do air ducts, tile, rugs, upholstery, the works. This is perfect for anyone in Middle Tennessee. The Facebook reviews, they speak for themselves. 98% recommendations. Give them a call today, 615-535-9376, 615-535-9376, or find them online, zeroresnashville.com.
For many of us, generators are becoming a must-have household appliance. From unpredictable weather to surprise outages, it's better to be safe than sorry. Generator Supercenter of Nashville offers fast and easy installations with 24/7 service and monitoring to all brands of generators and expert repairs done right. Our mission is to make owning a backup generator simple and easy. Visit your local store today or check us out online. Generator Supercenter of Nashville. We serve all Middle Tennessee.
It's 10:37 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? I'm Chris And. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. You can listen to us anywhere. iHeart, TuneIn, the FM dial. You can watch us, Super Talk TV, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Rumble. Hit like, hit subscribe, share the show with your friends. Don't miss the new episode of Mostly Peaceful. Myself and Dan Mandis dropping tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. It's a barn burner. We go into a lot of the EBT snap videos, the viral videos. We played those on the show a bunch yesterday. I came across a pretty cool piece of news. Do you hear what Black Lives Matter is doing? There's a lot of Black Americans that receive EBT benefits. Do you hear what they're doing to make sure that Black Americans don't go hungry? They're going to be donating $300 per Black person to make sure that as the government shutdown goes on, they're not going hungry. I'm just kidding. I made that up. They're actually buying real estate.
Oh.
Yeah. So.
Oh.
I made all that up. The real estate they're buying is getting them in hot water, though.
Oh, yeah?
It is. DOJ is investigating Black Lives Matter founders for soliciting tens of millions of dollars in donations and then, doing things like buying mansions. No schools were built. No playgrounds. No rec centers for the kids to play. Nothing. I don't even think that they fixed the Wendy's that they burned down.
Oh, probably not.
Probably not.
Nah.
That Wendy's probably took EBT, too. I don't know. Here's the thing. They claim to be doing a lot for the community, yet they didn't do a damn thing. And the Trump DOJ is now pressing them on that. And I'm a huge fan of this.
Under the Biden administration, but is now getting renewed scrutiny under President Trump's term. The Justice Department is declining to comment. Black Lives Matter saw a surge of donations after the death of George Floyd in May 2020. Protests erupted in many American cities, including the Minneapolis-St. Paul area. The organization has faced mounting scrutiny from financial mishandlings, including a $6 million purchase of a California property. In the aftermath of George Floyd, BLM reported, quote, across our entities and partners, we have raised just over $90 million in 1 year, 2020. Of these donations, the average donation via our main fundraising platform was $30.64, and more than 10% of donations were recurring. One of the BLM co-founders said back in 2022 she didn't get a salary, but did receive consulting dollars.
The idea that Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation received millions of dollars and then I hid those dollars in my bank account is absolutely false. That's a false narrative.
The scope of this probe into BLM remains unclear.
That's a false narrative. Oh, all right, prove it in court. I hope to see some charges against these individuals. What they were able to do to our country should not be forgotten, and the way that they were just slurping up all that cash and then doing nothing positive with it is insane. It's insane. And I'm not even saying that you had to spend all the $90 million on positive things, but you couldn't build one playground. Call it the George Floyd Memorial Playground. Not even that. It's insane. I hope they go after these guys heavy. Big time. Elsewhere, we have Mike Johnson still very upset. He learned that the Democrats have sued the U.S. Department of Agriculture for trying to find out how many illegal aliens have been receiving welfare, because this is a big issue. We understand that illegal aliens are taking tax dollars that aren't meant for them, being a drain on our society, and Democrats are suing the investigators trying to figure out what's going on. Listen to Mike Johnson.
And the Democrats will continue to abuse it. They sued the USDA for simply asking them to tell them how many illegal aliens are on the programs in California, New York, and these other states. They sued them. You need to take account of what people are doing here in each party, the leaders and the President of the United States. We are trying to get government to work more efficiently and effectively for the people, and we are getting stopped and hindered by political games by Democrats. And that's why we're so frustrated.
I mean, we should be frustrated. The Democrats have played political games on every major issue in the country. The lawsuits have been frivolous. It's been annoying. And we just want to enforce the laws on the books. It shouldn't be that hard. It shouldn't be that hard. Yet they still demand to reopen the government, that we have to fund health care for illegal aliens. We have to bend the knee. We have to do anything that they demand of us, or they're going to be kicking and screaming and not coming to the table. Senator John Kennedy was on CNN talking about just that last night.
I'm biased, but I think the mistake that Senator Schumer made when he said, no, I'm going to shut it down, he asked for, it was such a big ask. I mean, when you add it up, it's like 1.5 trillion, and wants us to gut the affordable care, the big beautiful bill like a fish, and it's just he's so far out there. It's hard for him to get back off that limb. If he'd had something more reasonable, we might be talking. But anyway, that's kind of where we are. I'm not proud of it. My guess is the American people are thinking to themselves, a pox on both of our houses, and I can't blame them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the American people are saying a pox on both of their houses. I think the American people are very divided, and I bet you that it's 60-40 in favor of the Republicans doing what they need to do. At this point, we've seen the polling. Independents are breaking for conservatives. The leftists are even saying that their party is out of touch. We'll see where this goes, but I'm hoping. And I'm praying that the Democrats wake up. We are seeing certain newspapers. Washington Post editorial board on Wednesday wrote that Congress should fund the government for a full year. Otherwise, families could go hungry, as we're seeing key programs such as food stamps may expire soon. The Post editorial board, this is from Breitbart, the Post editorial board wrote that the Democrat shutdown has continued for so long because there's been little discernible impact on most Americans' daily lives. However, come tomorrow, food stamps, more formally known as Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, SNAP, will expire, which may deprive roughly 42 million people of the needed benefits. I do feel bad for the kids that are going to be caught in the crossfire here. I really do. But there's a lot of able-bodied adults that are on these programs that are taking full advantage of it. Have you seen the charts? The amount of spending that we do on food assistance programs has ballooned after COVID. It never came back down to regular levels. And we have to do something about it. It's infuriating to me when I go on Amazon and I'm looking through the SNAP eligible items and I see a 24-pack of sugar-free Red Bull. I'm sorry. It makes me so mad. It infuriates me when I see whey protein, people getting bulk, and it's SNAP and EBT eligible. I feel bad for the kids that are in a tough spot. I think that the communities are going to step up with these food banks. But I don't think that the Republicans should be held hostage by the Democrats because of it. And it seems like the Washington Post is coming around and they want the Democrats to just stop the nonsense. The Post wrote, save the debate for another day about whether too many people qualify for food stamps, which have become significantly more generous over the years since the pandemic. Keeping the government open should be separated from policy disputes about how to spend taxpayer money. It is wrong that the Democrats have held government hostage for a month in hopes of extending costly Obamacare subsidies, just as it is wrong for Senator Ted Cruz to shut down the government in 2013 for 16 days in a bid to defund the Affordable Care Act altogether. Negotiations can always fall apart, but the calendar could help. Both chambers are supposed to be out on recess next week. On recess the week after next, for Veterans Day, which might help induce a deal by next Friday. The Post argued that Congress should fund the government for a full year using a clean spending bill to fund food stamps and federal workers, and then later negotiate a potential fix to the looming expiration of the Enhanced Affordable Care Act or Obamacare subsidies. The editorial noted that the Democrats said that they refused to do this because that would give up their leverage. If they persist, it could mean families start to go hungry, the paper concluded. Senate Democrats have attempted to blame Donald Trump and Republicans for the continued shutdown and the funding lapse of SNAP. Left-wing influencers on TikTok are promoting rioting and stealing as food stamps may soon run out of funding due to the Democrat shutdown. I do feel bad for the kids. I find myself not feeling bad for those left-wing influencers that Breitbart talks about on social media, calling for stealing, calling for looting, calling for violence, calling for death, literally threatening death. Do you want to go home? If you're security at Walmart, do you want to go home? One influencer said, well, then stay out of my way. I'm sorry. Is that a threat? Listen, it seems more and more these days you have to keep your head on a swivel. I told the wife, I said, don't go to Walmart. Don't go to Walmart over the weekend. Don't go to Walmart next week. If you need something, order it for delivery. Tonight, if you're out there with your kids, another thing that you need to keep your head on a swivel about, terrorism, violence. The FBI doing what appears to be unbelievable work, thwarting a terror plot in Dearborn, Michigan, where they were plotting some evil things for tonight. This is a big story. We're still learning more about it, but FBI Director Kash Patel says federal officials have arrested multiple people in Michigan. The operation was conducted in Dearborn and in Inkster, who had allegedly been plotting a violent attack over Halloween weekend. FBI Director Kash Patel says multiple people were arrested in a Halloween attack plot. The Associated Press reports multiple people who had been allegedly plotting a violent attack over Halloween weekend were arrested Friday morning in Michigan, FBI Director Kash Patel said in a social media post. Patel didn't release any further information about the arrest, but said more information would be coming. We are keeping our eyes on this. Dearborn police said in a social media post that the department was made aware that the FBI conducted operations in the city on Friday and assured residents that there is no threat to the community. Yeah, maybe not your community. Maybe not your community. We all know that Dearborn is a Muslim majority city. Dearborn put Arabic on their police patches before they had to backtrack because residents of the state of Michigan were furious over it. Dearborn is constantly under fire for blasting Islamic prayer calls at all hours of the day, up to and including when noise ordinances say on the city books that you can't be doing stuff like that. One guy went to a town hall to complain about it, and the Muslim mayor of Dearborn, Michigan said, I can't wait till you leave. I can't wait till you move out. Dearborn is also the same city that we talked about a few weeks ago where a couple individuals on a public street wanted to spread the word of Jesus Christ. They wanted to spread the gospel, and they were told they were not allowed to. First Amendment when? This is Dearborn, Michigan. This is a Muslim colony in America. If you're looking for terrorists of the Islamic variety, I think the FBI found them right there in Dearborn. And shout out to the FBI for doing the work that they need to do, keeping people safe. We all understand the threats that are out there. And you do look at nights like Halloween as a huge red flag. So please, if you're out there trick-or-treating tonight with your kids, your grandkids, your friends, your nieces, your nephews, your neighbors, keep your head on a swivel. Keep the kids on the sidewalk. Just be on high alert tonight. And pray that everything goes smoothly. I'll be praying for you guys as well. 1050 Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Selling your home can be stressful, but it doesn't have to be. Get a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. There are no showings, no open houses, no stress. Work with the #1 real estate team in the U.S. and close with confidence. Go to markspain.com today.
President Trump calling for the use of the nuclear option to end the government shutdown. We'll tell you about that more at 11 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
You like the idea of that, Ken?
No.
No, not at all?
No.
What's the reason?
Because we're not going to like it when the other side has it.
So that I've heard that argument before. And my argument back would be, if we don't do it, and the Democrats are to regain power, what stops them from doing it anyway? Because we've known that they've wanted to do this for a long time.
Well, that is a good point.
And there's no more Joe Manchin holding them back. Kyrsten Sinema isn't going to be there holding them back. So if we have a window of opportunity, right, and that window could be shrinking. If we're being realistic, that window might only last until midterms. Though you see some of the redistricting out there. We're picking up seats in Ohio. We're picking up seats in Indiana, and I like it. I think they could be going harder, but I'm here for it. So if the window is only a year, and we're worst case scenario, why shouldn't we do it? Why shouldn't we use every lever of power at our disposal to make sure that the Democrats can never regain power again? This half-measured kind of governing is like, I get it. I get the optics. I get some of that stuff. But the other part of me says we have a shrinking window. 10 months has already surpassed in this presidency. It's been a record-setting 10 months. $20 trillion in investment coming in. Peace all over the world. What he's been able to do is unbelievable. Yet the Democrats are still getting in our way. Why would we sit on our hands when we have an opportunity like this? I don't know if it's ever going to go through. I don't know if they can muster up the support for it, because I think a lot of people feel the same way. We wouldn't want the Democrats to have that.
I mean, it's what if? You know what I mean? I mean, it's like we could do it and everything would be okay. But then if we do it, how do we know what's going to be happening down the road whenever they would have the opportunity to use it?
I hear you.
But like you said, what's stopping them from it?
I mean, they've already talked so much about D.C. estate, Puerto Rico estate, packing the Supreme Court. They wanted to make it a popular vote only. I mean, like, we've heard all their outlandish ideas. We know what they would do if they had it.
Yeah.
And they would be aiming for that if they ever get power again. So
I mean, there is that.
So I'm just like the scary. What if the Democrats do it? They will. It's not what if they will. If they ever regain power, they're going to do that. So why not take advantage of everything that we can take advantage of while we have power?
There is that. Yes.
That's just where my head goes. I'm open to the argument. 615-737-9986 if you want to join the conversation. 615-737-9986. On the way, I want to talk a little bit about immigration enforcement. We got some updates on truck drivers. I got a viral video. This truck driver got pulled over. He can't even speak English. The guy says, "Where are you from?" He says, "California." Oh. We'll bring that and more on the way. It's 11 o'clock. Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. President Trump calling for the use of the nuclear option in the Senate. That would do away with the 60-vote filibuster margin and clear the way for a Republican majority vote to end the government shutdown. But House Speaker Mike Johnson at a press conference on Capitol Hill this morning.
The filibuster has traditionally been viewed as a very important safeguard. If the shoe was on the other foot, I don't think our team would like it.
Day 31 of the government shutdown is today, and there is no Senate vote scheduled to pass that stopgap spending measure that the House has already passed to reopen the government and avoid Saturday's termination of federal food aid called SNAP benefits. The head of the FBI says it prevented a suspected terror attack in Michigan. ABC's Luke Barr with the latest.
The FBI director tweeting this morning that they thwarted a potential terror attack over Halloween weekend, and he thanked the men and women from the FBI. He said that the FBI arrested multiple subjects in Michigan, and our affiliate saw some FBI agents outside of homes in Dearborn, Michigan. The FBI in Detroit confirmed that that action was happening in the cities of Dearborn and Inkster. There is currently no threat, according to the spokesperson.
And today, millions of YouTube viewers cannot see ABC, ESPN, and the full portfolio of Disney networks. The agreement between ABC's parent company Disney and Google's YouTube TV expired at midnight without negotiators resolving an impasse over how much YouTube should pay Disney for its programming. ABC's Rebecca Jarvis tells us what programming is no longer available. And a lot of it is football.
From College Game Day, where ABC is the most watched network in college football, up 23% compared to last year, to Monday Night Football, where the Cowboys will face off with the Cardinals, to Dancing with the Stars, which had its biggest premiere in 5 years and has seen viewership skyrocket for 5 weeks. Your local news, GMA and World News Tonight, it's all gone dark, along with ESPN and the Disney networks.
That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
President Trump making news again. The headlines, Chris. Donald Trump revokes the Secret Service from Kamala Harris. Ooh.
The unspoken part of this story is the hundreds of thousands of dollars we're going to save in therapists and PTSD counseling for the Secret Service agents that had to be on that detail with Kamala Harris. You know, we've heard the horror stories of Joe Biden swimming naked around his Secret Service agents, but I wonder how many times they've had to pick up a drunken Kamala Harris off the floor of a Wawa because she's on a Doritos run with Dougie. We don't need to pay for that, and she can afford her own security. I don't think this is much of a story. It's 11:06 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. All sorts of places we got to keep our heads on a swivel. Trick-or-treating tonight, FBI has thwarted a terror plot. Dearborn, Michigan. Go figure. So that's something to keep your eyes on. Stay prayed up tonight. Keep your head on a swivel. If you're going to the grocery store over the weekend, SNAP benefits will be expiring. You'll need to keep your head on a swivel because threats of violence have been numerous on the internet. Left-wing social media influencers saying, if you get in my way, you may not go home. Over and over, we're seeing that. And if you plan to drive anywhere this weekend, you got to keep your head on a swivel on the highways as well because we still have a massive illegal alien trucker problem. It's just good news. We're just doing good news only. So that's what we're focused on here. We're going into the holiday week. I want everybody to be happy. It's crazy, dude. Well, I do have some good news. Yesterday, Kristi Noem announced the arrest of 46 illegal alien semi-truck drivers, as well as 82 illegal aliens who were driving box trucks and buses. They did this at a press conference yesterday.
223 illegal aliens have been arrested and taken off of our roads. Of those, 146 of them were drivers. That includes 46 semi-truck drivers and another 82 of them that were either box trucks, buses, moving vans, vehicles such as that.
Now, it's a good start. But I will remind you, we had Danielle Chaffin in here, who is a trucking logistics expert. She's awesome. We're going to try and get her back on next week. And I'm also trying to work Secretary Duffy onto the show, and I'm not having the best luck, I'll be honest with you. But we're trying to get him on as well because I want Danielle to talk to him. She said that during our interview, which is available on YouTube, that her estimation is upwards of 300,000 illegal aliens on the road currently. 300,000. So while I'm grateful that Secretary Noem is announcing the arrest of 46 semi-truck drivers and then was another few hundred box trucks, bus drivers, moving trucks, that's great. You're peeing in the ocean. You are peeing in the ocean. Kristi Noem continues.
The CDLs that were issued to those individuals were issued from over a dozen different states. Many of those individuals could have been licensed in a state somewhere and received their CDL in another state, but overwhelmingly, these individuals have come from sanctuary states such as California and Illinois and New York.
We knew that those would be the big culprits, giving away IDs and CDLs to illegal aliens. We're aware. I did ask Danielle during our interview last week, how does Tennessee rank when it comes to trucking safety? She said we're top 5. Top 5 state in the country when it comes to safety and following the rules on the books, which I thought that was pretty comforting. But as you know, everything comes through Tennessee. All these truckers that are getting their IDs and their licenses, their CDLs in Illinois, New York, California, they're coming through here. So we could be one of the safest states in the country, and that's great, and I'm here for it, and kudos to Tennessee for doing the right thing. But that doesn't necessarily make us safer on the roadways, which is an issue.
If you are here driving on our streets illegally and our highways, you are endangering our citizens, and your days are numbered. I want to thank Secretary.
Yeah, I hope that this is ended swiftly and quickly. Yet we continue to see video after video of horrific crashes resulting in death. And then we see viral videos like this. Fox News had it. ATU Truckers on X is the original source of the video. This guy, he can't speak any English, can't read the road signs. And we learned this from a police officer's body cam.
Is there anybody else in the truck?
My company.
Your company. Okay, you don't understand English. Pants. Put your pants on.
Pants on? What?
Put your...
Not only was he not speaking any English, he was not wearing any pants.
Goodness.
Nice. Yeah, well, who needs them? You know?
Your company, okay? You don't understand English. Pants. Put your pants on.
Yes, sir. What?
Put your pants on. Pants.
If the illegal alien driving the 18-wheeler doesn't know that he should have pants on doing it, do we need to go any further in the testing? You know what I mean? Like, do we need to? Is there any more conversation to be had at that point when you're trying to tell him to put his pants on and he doesn't understand you? I don't know where this guy's from. I don't know. It's all blurred out. For all I know, he could be Eastern European. He could be Swedish. He could be Dutch. I don't know. I would feel the exact same way. If you can't speak the language, you can't read the road signs, you have no business behind the wheel of an 18-wheeler.
Put some pants on.
Yeah, okay.
You don't understand English. What company do you work for?
The company, California.
Your company's called California?
Yeah.
It's a good company. That's it.
Wow.
Nailed it. Does this make you feel good on the highways? I get right to the left lane. I try and find in most left lanes they say no trucks allowed. That's where I'm cruising. I get right over the left lane.
I've seen a lot of trucks riding that lane recently, and it's frustrating me.
Me too. It's
scaring me.
It's hard. I mean, I can't be the only one who's keeping his head on a swivel when there's an 18-wheeler behind him, right?
All the time.
Like, I'm almost paying attention more to the guy behind me than I am the person in front of me. We have to get this under control. This guy, what company do you work for? California?
Yeah, you don't understand me.
Your reaction, Mr. Secretary.
So Secretary Duffy is on Fox News, and he gives a reaction to that clip.
Yeah, so first up, it begs the question, how in the hell did someone like that get a driver's license, right? Because we have requirements that you have to be proficient in speaking English. And so whether you're at the DMV in California and issuing a license, or the school that tested him that would have said he's proficient as a driver and sent him to the DMV in California, there's multiple trigger points where someone should have flagged this guy that he should not be driving. The problem, specifically in California, but also in other states, is that they're not enforcing the English-only provisions of our federal law.
The problem is these blue states aren't enforcing the laws on the books. Democrats have an issue, it seems, that this always happens, enforcing the laws on the books. No, we need new laws, they'll say. We need something more bipartisan. No, we don't. We just need to enforce the laws on the books. And all of these issues would evaporate into thin air. But they don't enforce them. I can't tell you why. I cannot tell you why. This morning, the American Truckers United joined Fox and Friends, and they started calling out companies that are hiring these drivers.
Just Secretary Kristi Noem announcing nearly 150 illegal migrant truck drivers were arrested in Indiana during Operation Midway Blitz.
223 illegal aliens have been arrested and taken off of our roads. Of those, 146 of them were drivers. That includes 46 semi-truck drivers and another 82 of them that were either box trucks, buses, moving vans, vehicles such as that. The CDLs that were issued to those individuals were issued from over a dozen different states.
This as Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy announces a federal crackdown on migrant truck drivers.
We are going to go after the CDL mills that are issuing licenses across the country. We are diving into the companies that hire these drivers that may not have a license, that may not have a lawfully issued license, or do not speak the language.
American Truckers United co-founder Harvey Beach and Shannon Everett join us now. Thanks so much for joining the program, gentlemen.
Happy to be here.
Yes, sir.
So I guess my father's a truck driver. Apparently, this has been an issue for a while. I guess the major question is, how are these folks, individuals, some of them that don't speak English or read English, able to pass these tests?
They don't. They don't pass the tests. There's a wink and a nod system. I saw videos online where guys are going into their licensing tests with hidden cameras. And they're wiggling around. They're wearing an earpiece. They're wiggling around. And then they're filming the test piece. And then they're getting the answers in their ear. And then they're filling it all out. Some DMVs are busting those guys doing that. Other DMVs in some of these blue states are probably looking the other way. American Truckers United, they weigh in.
Yeah, so this has really exploded over the last 5 years, and in what's known as a non-domiciled, the proliferation of a non-domiciled CDL, and also what's known as a B1, B2 border crossing card. And so, there's been an effort across the industry to reduce standards to solve a so-called driver shortage. And in doing so, they relaxed the standards for these driver's licenses to be issued, but only in certain states. One of the things that they found in the sting in Indiana and also the sting in Oklahoma is that all of these drivers are coming from the same regions and the same areas. And so there's a lot of illegal activity going on. And I think that's demonstrated in the fact that not every state's participating in this activity.
He's right. And I will say this, during our interview with Danielle Chaffin, a trucking expert, third-generation logistics, she said that the driver shortage narrative is the biggest myth in trucking. There is no bigger myth than the driver shortage narrative. It's a lie. It's fabricated. They use this as a guise to bring in the migrants and undercut American truckers. Make no mistake about it. It's a lie. Full stop. Full stop. And I believe Danielle when she says it. I do.
So, Harvey, I guess the big question is, have other drivers on the road complained about this? Was there a shortage in truck drivers? I mean, you can make a really great living doing this. I'm sure there's plenty of Americans that want these jobs. Is that the reason why they decide to cut the standards?
There has not been a driver shortage, Lawrence. There is a lack of pay versus the lifestyle that our drivers have to deal with out there. And these guys and ladies, our American truck driver community, they have been complaining about the foreign invasion of their industry and the things that they're having to deal with on a daily basis. I hear it from my drivers in our orientation classes every week.
They've been screaming about it. The truckers have been sounding the alarm. It's now just hitting critical mass because of what we've seen in places like Florida, where that one truck driver tried to do the U-turn across the highway, because of what we saw in Ontario, California, that trucker just barreling into the back of a car, killing 3 people, fiery wreck. We're seeing these videos now on social media in real time, and now everyday Americans are going, wait. This is happening here too? It seems like so many different parts of our nation have been ruined by the 4 years of Democrat control. What are we going to do about it? We have to go hard. We have a window of opportunity here. If you're caught driving a truck and you can't speak English, they need to make that penalty harsh. Harsh. Years, decades in prison. The way you're putting people at risk. They need to go after those companies that are issuing those licenses, and they need to hold them criminally accountable. And I hope that they do, especially in that Florida case and in the Ontario, California case, but who knows if they will. Let's go to Chili in Center Hill real quick. What do you got?
Yes, sir. Hey, first of all, I love your show, listen to you regularly, and I'm out on the road every weekend touring. And we hit these truck stops in the middle of the night where we can get in, get out, less traffic.
Yep.
And it's getting hard to even get up to the fuel island where these foreigners are at the fuel island basically doing their cleaning. I've seen 4 and 5 of them in one truck. One will be washing the windows. I'm actually starting to film. I've got about 20 minutes of B-roll so far. I'm going to put together a good 30-minute reel and start airing this stuff. They're everywhere you go. But I've got a question I would love for you to maybe ask your listeners. We're regulated on the road. buses are regulated to 10 hours a day. You know, we're told you can only work 10 hours. And that's a safety thing, you know, so if you're to prevent a driver from
falling asleep
going
and
beyond their limits.
Yep.
Okay, but what about a doctor? Are they regulated to how many patients they see? Aren't they sort of in the safety thing too? And the very officer that pulls you over is subject to be working a double shift.
I mean, that's fair. I think the argument could be made, though, that officer isn't driving around, tons of weight behind him. Right. You know what I mean?
He's carrying a lethal weapon on his side.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I think your criticisms are fair. I don't think you're going to win that battle today. I think the battle in front of us.
Of course not.
I think
immigration is the big deal. I just
100%.
wanted to make people aware that, hey, man, we've been singled out, actually, with regulations. You see all these trucks sitting on the side of the road and stuff. They've ran out of hours. The government came in and regulated it to death.
And I think it's also important to point out, and I've seen these stories elsewhere, where these foreign drivers are hacking those machines to make it seem like they're still safe to ride. So they're going past the 10 hours, while the American truckers are playing by the book. These guys have hacked the machine inside their truck, right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But,
yes, sir.
But that's happening on the roads every day.
When you go into the truck stops at night, the only people that'll speak English usually is the person behind the counter.
It's crazy, man.
The customers don't. I mean, you think you're in another country. Hey, but I love your show. Keep up the good work, man. And we've got to stand together.
Amen.
I think, hey, we wouldn't need a wall, really, if we didn't put them to work, if we didn't rent to them, if we didn't give them services.
This is exactly what Uncle Phil used to preach about for years and years and years. We need to demagnetize the United States of America.
Exactly, man. You're dead on with that because, hey, until we hold the people accountable that are employing them, renting houses to them, selling them cars, and issuing them license. Hey, if a bartender sells you a drink when you're already intoxicated, you go out and you kill somebody, they can go after that bartender. Why can't they go after the same people giving them the license?
You're absolutely right, brother. Hey, man, stay safe out there. We'll be praying for you, all right?
Yeah, thank you, sir. Bye-bye.
All right, it's 11:23, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friend Dan over at Cabinet Makeovers. If you need to make an investment in your home, in your kitchen, do it with the guys that I trust. Do it with Cabinet Makeovers. They installed some amazing pull-out cabinets in my home. I didn't think I was going to love them as much as I do, but these cabinets have completely transformed the kitchen. We're not bending over and digging in the back of the cabinets anymore for pots and pans. They all just glide right out. Glide back in. It's easy for the kids when they're pulling snacks out of the pantry, too. They love it. Everybody loves it. My wife, especially. This is a family-owned company. Cabinet Makeovers have been serving Middle Tennessee for over 45 years. Everything they do is Tennessee-made. Every cabinet they installed in my house, every pull-out, every drawer, all wood construction, full extension, soft close glides. The craftsmanship is of the highest levels, and it really is special what they can do to your kitchen. They do it all with Tennessee pride, and they let their business be led with biblical values. These guys are special. What they can do to your kitchen, even more special. But they don't just stop at kitchens. Custom closets, pantries, cabinetry for every room in your house. They can make it happen for you. So do what I did. Call Cabinet Makeovers today. 615-331-7010. 615-331-7010. Or find them online. CabinetMakeoversTN.com. Should kids be on this platform, period?
No, it's not worth it. It's only going to create headaches for you.
Roblox itself, it is a predator haven. There are games on Roblox like XYZ Public Bathroom Simulator. That's about 7 million visits, and the whole premise of the game is showering together with kids.
It's basically open season for sex predators on this app. For this reason and all of the others that we've talked about today, Roblox is violating Louisiana law.
If you join it, you're going to see predators, you're going to see naked avatars, you're going to see people peeing and all this sort of weird stuff. If I was a parent and I saw that, I would be outraged. I would be totally outraged. And parents aren't aware of this.
Because there is so much content and it's so difficult to monitor, and there's, 40% of their users are under the age of 13. Of course, it's a place where predators have learned how to network and gather and groom children.
We'll tell you what Republican leaders in the Senate and House are saying about President Trump's call for using the nuclear option to end the government shutdown. That's coming up at 11:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Ken Weaver in the newsroom. My name is Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. So we've been paying attention to this story all morning. First reported by the Miami Herald. U.S. poised to strike military targets in Venezuela in escalation against Maduro regime. I'm not here to shed a tear for the Maduro regime. In fact, if we're going to get into a war with South America, to do it while we have a secure southern border is probably the best time to do it, because then we don't have to worry about the refugee flood that will come with a war in South America. Let's be perfectly honest. Maduro's not a good guy. But they were saying Trump has made the decision to attack military installations inside Venezuela, and that the strikes could come at any moment, saying that the planned attacks will destroy military installations used by the drug trafficking organization the U.S. says is headed by Venezuelan strongman Nicolas Maduro and run by top members of his regime. I'm not necessarily against it. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I'm not. I'm just not. But there's new reports circulating now that Trump is denying the mass reports that strikes on Venezuela are imminent, saying he has not yet made the decision. We'll see what happens. Only time will tell. Only time will tell. What I do know is that they are bringing drugs into this country. The Colombians that were also hit are bringing drugs into this country. And anything that we can do to make these cartels second guess bringing drugs into this country, i.e. fentanyl, is a good thing. Let's make cartels scared again. I think that would be a good course of action. Make them afraid to do what they've been able to do with impunity. And I think that's the goal of the Trump administration here. It's a story I'm paying attention to, and we'll give you updates should they become available. It is 11:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
11:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. And President Trump calling on Senate Republicans to kill the filibuster in a string of social media posts overnight. The move would allow Republicans to end the government shutdown without a single Democratic vote, because Democrats right now, not enough of them, are crossing party lines to reopen the government. They need 5 Democrats to do so. They're just not getting them. ABC News, Washington managing editor Catherine Falders with the latest.
We are hearing from at least a spokesperson for John Thune, of course, on the Senate side. Now, keep in mind, remember a couple weeks ago, John Thune was asked about this, and he said it wouldn't be the right call. And his spokesperson has just told ABC News in a statement that Leader Thune's position on the importance of the legislative filibuster is unchanged.
Well, tomorrow is the day that money runs out for SNAP, which helps people pay for groceries. But the largest food delivery app hopes to make a difference, along with all of the hundreds and thousands of food banks out there that are gathering donations to help people. DoorDash has launched an emergency food response through its Project Dash. They're waiving delivery fees for more than 300 food banks and pantries with the goal of delivering 1 million meals to SNAP recipients. In a statement, DoorDash says the program helps people get the food they need more conveniently and without stigma. Federal agents, that is, have arrested several suspects in Michigan who were allegedly plotting a Halloween weekend terror attack inspired by ISIS. The FBI claims to have uncovered the plan through online chat rooms and moved quickly when the group referenced, quote, Pumpkin Day. FBI agents seen outside of homes in Dearborn and Inkster. Authorities say there is no current threat to public safety and the investigation is ongoing. That's the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at Floor Nashville. I'm really excited to tell you about these guys. I love supporting companies that are doing good work because when you support a business with biblical values, you're helping keep revival alive right here in Nashville. And this is exactly what Floor Nashville is all about. Locally trusted since 2006, founded by my friend Ricky Dar. Floor Nashville has 25 years of experience serving the city with craftsmanship and care that you can count on. They bring the showroom right to your home. You can sample flooring in your own space. You're going to get expert guidance from professional installers. You can enjoy same-day in-home estimates or delivered electronically the next day. They do everything: hardwood, carpet, tile, luxury vinyl, custom floors, and they do it all with precision installations every single time. Floor Nashville is the best. But here's really the special part of their business. Beyond the beautiful floors, Ricky Dar, the owner, gives back with Revive the City. This is a local outreach bringing hope and faith and spreading the gospel to Nashville every first and third Saturday. This is his project that he cares about. Revive the City. You can learn more at revivenashville.net. And if you want to support a good Christian company that is trying to spread the good news, well, do that, transform your space, and support this Christian business making a difference. You can schedule your free home estimate at floornashville.com, or you can give them a call, 615-613-4684.
So this dude's dog wanders into the shot. And who is this guy?
So this is Hassan Piker. He's a left-wing streamer. He's very radical, Muslim, friends with Mamdani, big Mamdani supporter. And, you know, this is just an insight to the kind of people they truly are at home. And he's on his live stream.
Yeah.
And as you said, his dog gets in the shot, won't sit down, which I understand. But at the same time, this dog is not getting in his way or anything. He is simply just circling, or as my wife would call it, nesting, trying to find that comfy spot.
Yeah.
So he shocks him.
Much more consequential violence, okay? It's the same reason as to why America, Kaya, please just f***ing go, just stop.
You know, kind of ironic this guy is
Oh,
talking
my
about
gosh.
violence.
Yeah, right?
While he shocks his dog. His dog's literally not even doing anything. He's just, as you said, he's circling in the background.
Yep.
11:37 already. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. I guess you could say time flies when you're talking about FBI thwarting terror plots, illegal alien truckers, Kamala Harris running for president, and government shutdowns.
Obviously.
Did we miss anything today? I feel like we got the big stories. We didn't talk about Sudan, which I wanted to talk about, but we can do that. We could do that right now because this is the time of the show where we talk about all the stories we didn't have a chance to get to. This is the lightning round.
It's the lightning round with Chris Hand.
And full disclosure, the Sudan story deserves a lot more time than we were able to give it today. Over 150,000 people have been killed, 165 churches destroyed, millions displaced. Christians in Sudan currently today are being starved, beaten, forced to convert, and the world, the mainstream media, our elected officials, nobody's saying anything, nobody's talking about it. It's a wild story. And I heard Chad talking about it yesterday. He did a great job talking about it. El Fashir is where this is all going down. There's an Islamist RSF siege. Civilians are surviving on grass and animal feed. There's no wheat. There is no medicine. They can't even pray in their own homes without risk of being arrested or worse. I've seen people, if you type in Sudan on Twitter, you're going to find yourself in a hell of a rabbit hole. People are being burned alive. People are being buried alive. People are being told to run away and being shot from behind. Mothers are being shot with their children. It is horrific what is happening in Sudan. It's not just war. This seems like targeted religious persecution. And it's happening right now in the year 2025. So do some research on this. Don't stay silent, and let's stand together with persecuted Christians. It's very easy to be a Christian in America. It is. We don't face what they face in other countries. And in other countries, it highlights why Christians are the most persecuted group on the planet. When you see what's happening in Sudan, it is horrifying. This is these are. Let's put some of the scenes on the YouTube stream. You'll see. I don't know if I want to do sound, but if you're watching on YouTube, you'll just see Islamists celebrating, firing their weapons in the air, cars upon cars, thousands of cars on fire, bodies everywhere. In Sudan, Arab Islamist gangs are kidnapping and rounding up black children and women, and they're forcing them into slavery. Over 3,000 have been killed in just the last few days. There's no word from the UN. There's no word from the Free Palestine crowd. There's been no word from Greta Thunberg. There's been no word from Black Lives Matter. There's been no word from human rights activists. This is a story that is wild. It's wild. And the Islamists in Sudan are downright chipper about what they've done, smiling and taking selfie videos with dozens upon dozens of burned out and blown up cars behind them and what looks to be hundreds of bodies. And they're celebrating a job well done. It's a disgusting thing that's happening in Sudan. Al Jazeera reports it like this: a true genocide. RSF kills at least 1,500 in Sudan's El Fashir. Regional countries express alarm as more evidence emerges of mass killings by paramilitary forces in El Fashir. Scores of people have been killed in attacks by the Rapid Support Forces during their recent capture of the city of El Fashir in Sudan's western Darfur region. According to a medical group and researchers, the RSF, which has been fighting Sudan's military for control of the country, killed at least 1,500 people over the past 3 days as civilians tried to flee the besieged city. And if you're watching on Super Talk TV, you'll see all the cars that the civilians were trying to use to flee the city, which have been burned up and blown up, and just scores of bodies around them because when they abandoned their cars, they were opened fire upon. There is a group, the Sudan Doctors Network, on Wednesday, which is classifying this as a true genocide. They say the massacres the world is witnessing today are an extension of what occurred in El Fashir more than a year and a half ago when over 14,000 civilians were killed through bombing, starvation, and extrajudicial executions. It said the attacks are being carried out as part of a deliberate and systematic campaign of killing and extermination. The statement comes as new evidence of mass killings in the strategic area has emerged from Yale's Humanitarian Research Lab, which reported that the satellite imagery of El Fashir taken after the RSF moved in shows clusters of object consistent with the size of human bodies, as well as large areas of red discoloration on the ground. There is so much killing, so much death, that bodies and blood are visible from satellites. It's just, they can see it from space. The mainstream media is silent. The RSF has been locked in a bloody civil war with Sudan's army since 2023, in a conflict that's killed tens of thousands, close to 150,000, and displaced more than 12 million people. The paramilitary force overran El Fashir, the army's last stronghold in Darfur, on Sunday after 17 months of siege. The Sudanese government said on Wednesday that at least 2,000 people have been killed in the city since then, while aid agencies said they've received credible reports of atrocities, including summary executions, attacks on civilians along escape routes, and house-to-house raids. And I'll just tell you, you don't need the Sudanese government to tell you that when you have a free speech platform like X, because the videos are there, and these groups that are perpetrating these attacks are posting the videos and celebrating. Pray for the Christians in Sudan. Pray for our leaders to wake up. Pray for somebody, anybody, to do something. Because even the horrific details I have described to you, that's just what I can get away with on the radio. It is far, far worse. And I ask you to help amplify this message, help get some more eyeballs on this story, and talk about it, because nobody else seems to be doing that. It's a crazy story. I got another one for you here in the lightning round. We have been following Scott Jennings going to CBS. That is a big story, potentially. Barry Weiss has been tracking Scott Jennings and looking to bring him in. And you can understand why. Last night, he's on CNN, and there's a Democrat panelist next to him. And the Democrat panelist doesn't want to admit that Joe Biden was in mental decline. And Scott Jennings says, "Excuse me? You don't think that Joe Biden was in mental decline while he was in office?" And he goes, "Well, no doctor said that." And Scott said, "You needed a doctor to tell you that?" Oh, hang on one second. I got too much audio running in the background. Let me take that one out. This is Scott Jennings last night on CNN responding to a leftist who says, Biden was fine.
He was, I think we all acknowledge, and the reporting is very clear, in severe cognitive decline. And so the committee the committee, you don't agree he was in cognitive decline?
I do not, because there's no medical evidence to say that. Now, that's a political talking point for some of you on the right. But there's no evidence to point to that. Dr. Scott.
Do you know?
Dr. Scott, do you have evidence?
Do you know why the president's physician took the Fifth Amendment before the committee?
No, the same reason why Republicans have taken the Fifth Amendment under oath.
Listen, if you're here to argue the sharpness of Joe Biden, I commend you on your effort.
I'm not here to argue that. I'm just saying there's no medical evidence to point there was some cognitive decline.
Do you have eyes and ears? I think you do.
I do.
Okay.
The same eyes and ears that saw.
And here's the thing:
this president prevented a government shutdown during his time. We talked about the bipartisan legislative agenda that he put together. So I do have eyes and ears, and you do too.
I mean, he was.
Scott Jennings, at the end of that, you can tell he's just tired of arguing. He went, okay, this is fine. Sure. You know, it's like my dad used to tell me, when you're arguing with an idiot from a distance, people can't tell who's who. You know.
I was like, maybe you're just pretending to be dumb. Now I don't think it's an act.
No. Speaking of dumb, you've heard about like horror stories of criminals showing up to Zoom hearings, right, and doing something ridiculous on them. Have you ever heard a story of a police officer showing up to a Zoom hearing and doing something ridiculous?
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
So this happened in Detroit. In Detroit, Michigan, police officers testifying in a Zoom hearing. Detroit police officer Matthew Jackson. He was missing something, though. He was missing something. You'll catch it quicker if you're watching on YouTube because you can see the video on the stream. But what was he missing?
Good morning to you. Can you put your appearance on the record, please?
Yes, Officer Jackson, badge number 3919, out of the 12th precinct.
All right.
Officer Jackson. He got an Oscar camera, Judge.
You got some pants on, officer?
Sir, they're in the... No, sir.
Officer Jackson, okay, Miss Lee.
All right, moving on. The cop showed up to a Zoom hearing without any pants on. Here's the thing. You don't necessarily need pants on in a Zoom meeting. I'm not telling you to go full Jeffrey Toobin like on CNN. Okay? I wouldn't want you to do that.
But
like you could position your camera to be waist up.
Oh, absolutely.
I've done news hits before on Real America's Voice or on Newsmax where I've been wearing sweatpants and a dress shirt. I've never done the no pants. I wouldn't, and even if I did, I wouldn't admit it to you guys. But you can position the camera where nobody sees below the waist. And he realized that after he got called out for not wearing pants in the first place, because it's all thigh, baby. It's all thigh.
Bro had his camera sitting on a coffee table pointing up at him on his couch.
Yes.
The most relaxed.
He was chilling. And then when he realized that he got called out, he quickly like grabs it and pulls it closer so that way you can't see that he's not wearing any pants. I did hear him say he wanted to say that they're in the dryer. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Is that just me? Was it me that just picked that up? Does he think that's an excuse or what?
Oh, definitely.
Officer Jackson. He got an Oscar camera, Judge.
You got some pants on, officer?
Sir, they're in the... No, sir.
Sir, they're in the... No, sir, I don't have any pants on.
Really caught with his pants down.
Caught with his pants down. I got another story for you here in the lightning round. I don't know, man. Sometimes I like, you know me, I like classic crime. And sometimes like a jewel heist, I feel like it'd be a better story if they got away and were never found. And we could talk about it years later like D.B. Cooper.
Talking about the one,
talking about
the Louvre?
I'm talking about the Louvre.
The Louvre.
I know. Some of those bandits got arrested.
Nah.
I know. I really like the mystery aspect of it. I think that story's better without it being resolved.
Yeah, from the Grand Jewel Heist.
You know what I mean? Doesn't it like, yeah, you can make a movie about it.
Oh, absolutely.
Like,
next Mission Impossible.
But that's not what we're going to get. We're getting arrested. Paris Anti-Banditry Police, which is a heck of a department to work for.
Absolutely.
I work for the Anti-Banditry Unit.
I mean, with that many museums over there.
It's fair.
You can't blame them.
They've arrested 5, including the prime suspect over the robbery at the Louvre.
Oh.
Paris police have made 5 more arrests overnight, including a suspect that they say was present at the Louvre robbery itself, but still haven't retrieved any of the stolen jewels. Paris prosecutor Laure Becot said at a press conference on Thursday that a major police operation across the city overnight had led to the arrest of 5 suspects. She said DNA evidence left at the scene had led them to a suspect they had been holding in our sights and they believe had been at the scene of the crime, and secret observation of that man allowed officers to discover the identity of 4 alleged co-conspirators. The arrests were executed by the Elite Banditry Repression Brigade. That's an even better name. The headline on Breitbart said Anti-Banditry Police, but put some respect on that. This is the Elite Banditry Repression Brigade.
Oh.
Put some respect on the name.
Elite.
The Elite Banditry Repression Brigade. This took place across Paris, and it was in a wealthy neighborhood, a notorious multicultural suburb of Saint-Denis. The Daily Telegraph notes the prosecutor referred to the DNA evidence man as a prime suspect. Becot said that while the 4 additional arrests may not have been on the scene at the actual heist, they may have supported the effort in other ways. And she remarked, one of them was one of the target of the investigators. We have DNA evidence linking him to the theft. He is one of the suspects we've had in our sights. As for the other individuals, they may have been able to provide us with information on how the burglary unfolded. The prosecutor also made an appeal to whoever has the stolen historic jewels from the Louvre collection, stating there is still time to return them. So far, the only stolen piece back in the public hands is a crown that was dropped by the thieves as they fled the scene. Would you, do you think anybody's going to return these jewels?
Not willingly.
Like, if you guys return them, leave them on the steps of the police, the what is it, the Bandit Repression Brigade. Leave it on the doors of the Banditry Repression Brigade's office.
The elite.
And we won't even look at the camera footage.
Lies.
It will say, all's well that ends well.
You steal something like that, you displaying that in your house?
Heck yeah, fireplace.
Fireplace, like middle mantle?
Middle mantle, baby. Middle mantle. That does it for the lightning round. It's 11:53. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Are Democrats waking up to the fact that 80-20 issues aren't exactly a good look to defend?
To the average person, the murder rate's about life and death. You don't brag about a rising murder rate. And the Democrats are, I agree with you, Mika, they're falling into the trap of defending what's indefensible.
It's a trap.
It's a trap.
Yes, it's a trap. I mean, if it's not a winner politically.
I mean, I think she's right. It is a bit of a trap to root for these 80-20 issues, men and women's sports, boys in girls' locker rooms.
No, that's not 80-20. That's 97-3.
Fair. That's 97-3. But we also have illegal alien gang member MS-13 members, Kilmar. Democrats defend him. We've seen Democrats rooting for a recession. All these 80-20 issues, and this is what made the Democrats realize it? How long until they forget again? Few hours, tops. 11:59, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. Chad Benson's in studio. And who are you wearing today, Chad?
Young Reagan McNeil, a.k.a. Linda Blair from the beautiful and amazing Exorcist.
I think that you pull off the beard better than she did in the movie.
I do.
It's fair.
Yeah. That's it. Well, because I'm super possessed. That's why.
So, am I missing something? But I thought she was she had more of a green tint in the movie.
That was the way they filmed it. Now, she was a little bit more white and bluish, but yeah, so I watched the movie again today.
You're going with the authenticity.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We went for it hardcore.
I love it. What are you going to be talking about today?
We're going to talk about some Halloween stuff. We'll probably talk a little bit about the government shutdown. Who knows what else we'll talk about. It'll be fun and frivolity, I could promise you that.
People love a good government shutdown.
Oh, yeah.
They've been really excited about it.
Yeah, they seem excited about it. Everybody's very excited. You know, this is the weekend where it hits the fan, if you will, and we'll see what it looks like come Monday. They all have to get into their final parting shots on the Sunday shows to see if that makes any difference with anything.
Yeah, if you need to go grocery shopping this weekend, the smart play is to get them for delivery.
Yes.
That's the smart play. Chad's in next. It's 12 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.